Why is it wrong to talk about Joe Biden's cognitive decline? Because Joe Biden recently was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And let's keep in mind he wanted to run again, so he would be the current president of the United States if he won with stage 4 prostate cancer. And do you think that would have been released if he won the election? Of course not.
At the time that Joe Biden announced that he was running for re-election, you found a sizable, this chart is among Democrats from April of 2023, and you find a sizable number, 45%, who said they didn't think he should run. But the real second beat on this that shows some of those underlying concerns, if you will, was that when I followed up and asked them why they thought that, if they did, the top answer was his age.
But now I had to react to the idea of you're not allowed to criticize Joe Biden and his actions during the 2024 election cycle because of this sad news. I think this is bullshit. And the reason it's bullshit is I'm one of the people who follow politics very closely. But during the primary season, when Marianne Williamson and Dean Phillips threw their hat in to be the Democratic nominee because they saw the catastrophe of the candidate of Joe Biden, the DNC shut that shit down immediately.
Florida, for example, scrapped their primary process altogether and awarded all their delegates to Joe Biden.
Which I wonder if they actually go back in their heads with Jake Tapper pretending to actually care about this issue just to sell a book, being like, should we have given Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson a fair shake?
A factor in why we're in the situation we're in is because Joe Biden decided to stay in the race. And I want to speak to Jake Tapper and Alec Thompson specifically. And I don't think there is anyone who could credibly accuse, especially Jake Tapper, of not critically covering Donald Trump for the last 10 years. This is where I take issue with some folks on the left. We stand with journalists. We stand with the free press when they're going after their opponents like Donald Trump. But when they critically cover Democrats as, oh, no, they're lying. It's fairy dust. It's not true. Okay. But with political figures who are coming out and attacking these two journalists, how is that pro-democracy? How is that pro-Fourth Estate to say,
wait a second.
oh, but when you come after Democrats,
I saw him the other day.
Look where we are now. They have the Great Orange Man in charge, which is hilarious because they did everything within their power to stop the Great Orange Man. And the Great Orange Man, being a force of nature, surviving 2 assassination attempts, dressing up as a garbage man, all the way to becoming president of the United States. This is something you see out of Grand Theft Auto. And Joe Biden and the rest of his fucking administration kept claiming that if Donald Trump is elected, it's the end of democracy. Well, Joe, if you believe that, you would have actually kept to your word and said, I'm going to hand it off to the next generation. And all the people around him who knew how much he had declined are complicit in all this. And now there's a silver lining with Donald Trump, with his open corruption when it comes to his meme coin and taking a jet from Qatar. Now, all of a sudden, people want to talk about corruption. Keep in mind, Joe Biden took millions of dollars from people overseas, and also President Obama. No one says shit. But all of a sudden, when Donald Trump's like, I could just do it out in the open, now all of a sudden, the media wants to act like that fourth branch of government. Now, I think it's especially fucked up if people are celebrating his cancer diagnosis. But imagine if Donald Trump had this happen. I guarantee you, there would be people with fucking signs out there celebrating that the president of the United States has a possible terminal illness. Don't act like if you're someone who hates Trump, wouldn't celebrate if Donald Trump had something like this happen to him. And I have some evidence for this. A third of Democrats wish that the assassin was successful against Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. That's deeply fucked up. I then float a bunch of conspiracy theories that Trump planned the whole thing. If you think Trump planned the whole thing, well, there's a saying, you can't fix stupid. And if you made it this far, you are awesome. Do me a solid. Hit like, and please consider subscribing. And if you disagree with me, that's just fine. Have a good day. And check out some of those videos on screen right now. Maybe you should click one.